All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Thanks so much for joining us today, and welcome to today's ServiceMax webinar entitled Uncovering Revenue, Productivity, and More with ServiceMax. We'll be talking about our latest ServiceMax release and just giving you an update on some of those key features and some new product information as well. My name is Nicole Sanders, and I'm just going to be running the technical side of our event today. You should be logged into the WebEx and see our opening slide. In order to communicate to us as the presenters, there is a bar at the top of your screen. It should be a green bar. There are some options there, some of which are buried under a little drop-down menu, or a drop-down arrow, excuse me. If you need to chat with myself about any technical issues, you can do it there. Also, that is where you will submit questions that we'll answer at the conclusion of the session. So there should be a selection there that says Q&A. And at any time during the presentation, go ahead and submit your questions, and we'll address those at the close of the presentation. Also, we are recording today's presentation, and we'll make it available on our website, as well as send you a link to that recording as soon as we're able to download it and get the information out to you probably in a day or two. So today we have with us Susan Tonkin. Susan's our Director of Product Marketing here at ServiceMax, and she'll be talking through the first part of the presentation. And then following Susan, Mickey Collert will be providing a quick demonstration of the latest features in ServiceMax. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Susan to get us started.
Great. Thank you, Nicole. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are today. So our webinar title today is Uncover Revenue, Productivity, and More. And we'll be focusing in a lot on our Summer 15 release and the new capabilities that we've delivered as part of that. We're a cloud company, so we deliver our customers 3 releases a year. This is one of the exciting releases we've had this year, and lots of great capabilities to help field service organizations really bring their organizations to the next level, capture revenue that they haven't been able to capture previously, and increase the productivity of their field service technicians and engineers. So lots of great stuff in this release to talk about, and Nikki and I will be having lots of fun sharing it all with you today. All right, so here's our agenda. I'll talk through a little bit about platform for field service, kind of who ServiceMax is, what it is that we offer, and then we'll move into the release highlights of Summer 15, and Nikki will do the demonstration. So here's just a little bit about who we are, if you're not already familiar with ServiceMax. We are a leader in service transformation, have been focused on field service since our inception in 2007. We have more than 500 customers now, which is really exciting. Great global brand names like GE and Pitney Bowes and Coca-Cola Enterprise, as well as mid-sized companies in a lot of different industries. Our vision has really been focused on field service and transforming that function and looking at an end-to-end consistent field service process in your organization that's not just focused in on a particular pain point, but really looking at a holistic process where all the touch points are to the rest of the processes in your organization. And that was our founder's vision from our inception as well. We are highly rated by not only our customers, but some analysts in the field as well. So we're a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for field service management. And have gotten a lot of recognition for our customer sat, have gotten a lot of recognition for having a cutting-edge vision in this market, so lots of great kudos from them. So here is our overall mission, and it's to empower every field service technician in the world to deliver flawless field service and really untap the growth potential of service in your organization. So many organizations kind of still view service as a necessary evil, it's a cost center, but really we are seeing a big shift in manufacturing organizations, in service organizations, where they're really looking at how can they grow service as a line of business, capture more revenue. That leads to not only more service revenue, but also more product revenue, As you stay in closer contact with your customers, you understand their needs better. So really, the field service process can help be a revenue growth engine for your business. You're getting that consistent field service process. You're being able to recognize when there are opportunities that you can leverage, and the field service technician is kind of both one of the last face-to-face touch points that you have with customers to be able to stay on top of their needs and their desires and really understand their challenges and be able to address those very proactively. So the end goal there is delighting our customers and making sure that everyone is happy with the service you're providing, which in turn generates loyalty, that generates more revenue in the next cycle. So a great way to grow your business and really untap your own growth potential. So the impact on the service delivery chain, we see a lot of organizations that come to us and say, hey, we have a problem here. Our dispatch could be cleaner, or we really need to switch from paperwork orders to electronic work orders. But they're really looking at one or two symptoms and not at the entire service delivery chain. So we really advise our customers, our prospects that we're talking to take a look at this in a more holistic fashion. It starts potentially with the product itself, whether that's a connected product or not. We've put connected product on this particular slide because that is becoming a huge trend in our industry and something we're going to talk about a little bit more in this presentation. But it starts all the way from installing that product at the customer site, selling that product, hopefully it's connected, getting them on a maintenance schedule, and then a service issue, a work order, repairing that, checking parts and products in and out of inventory, making sure that you close that customer interaction properly so that you can invoice on the back end in a very efficient, quick manner and be able to analyze all of that data through reports and dashboards. This entire service delivery chain really, it's tough to grow and transform your business if you're doing these piecemeal, or if you're looking at these piecemeal, or you're trying to solve a problem in just one of these areas. It really has to be looked at as a full service delivery chain, and that's where the real transformational impact happens. So what are some of the top service challenges you have in your organization? Here are the ones that we hear about most often. It's service revenue and cash flow. It's working costs and capital and productivity, customer satisfaction, regulatory compliance. This maps very well to a lot of the research we see out in the market. Aberdeen in particular has done a lot of research around what the top service challenges are in organizations, and theirs are all on here as well. Customer satisfaction, revenue, cash flow, those are all definitely pain points in service businesses today. And if you're looking at that holistic service delivery process from end to end, that entire process is going to really impact all of these service challenges. So it definitely has great potential for ROI and a lot of places where you can make some transformational business decisions. So here's kind of how we think about the platform that we provide for field service transformation. In the center, in those orange circles, you'll see what we call the 4 Ps. So there are processes in your organization, there are products which you've sold to customers, there are people in your organization, both your employees, your contractors, your organizations that you work with, as well as your customers, and then there's promises you make to those people as well. So SLAs, contract delivery terms, and all of those are really interrelated in a field service delivery process. You have to understand those processes. You have to know the products and where they are. You have to understand the promises that you've delivered. And then you have to really empower the people throughout that delivery chain to make all of this happen. And so the 2 side pieces that you see there are mobile and the Internet of Things. And I think those have been the 2 major trends that we've seen in the last couple years that are making that transformational process happen. It's the technology that we've needed to deliver on the 4 Ps and to really make field service a flawless process. Mobile is now ubiquitous. Everyone's got a mobile device, yet we still see field service folks coming to your home, your office, the hospital, wherever it is field service is being provided, we still see folks showing up with clipboards who are not connected to the rest of their organization. They're filling out paperwork at the end of the day and then dropping it off in an office, and it's lots of lag time to be able to collect on that cash and uncover trends and see the detail of the day-to-day interactions that they have with customers. So mobile is transforming all of that, and it's making it real time, and it's giving unprecedented access to the field tech to have all of this insight, have all of this connectivity to the back office, to their peers, to be able to get questions answered quickly, to be able to look up who's got this part in their trunk stock and can I grab it from them rather than have to make a second trip back out here. So it's just really transforming the way that field services delivery happens. And the Internet of Things, while earlier in its curve than mobile at this point, has even bigger transformational impact potential on our market. So definitely connected products that can proactively say, I need service and something needs to happen, and provide this great data for how products are used, how products are functioning, how products are performing in the field, quality issues, so that we can build for service from the get-go and design for service up front. That has really tremendous impact to change our industry. So that's kind of how we're thinking about the market, and as we think through our roadmap and our releases that we prepare, these are the kind of trends and things that we're thinking about as we're building product. Okay, so let me transition into our Summer 15 release. The theme around this release was uncovering revenue, unlocking productivity, and creating loyal customers. So those business issues are top of mind for our customers, as I mentioned before, and it was really the driving force behind what we wanted to do with this release. So we wanted to create those loyal, satisfied customers. We focused on a couple different areas, which I'll show you in some slides, and Nikki will be demoing a few pieces of these as well as we move along in the presentation. You know, one of the key things that we had in this release was push notifications to really make sure that techs are delivering effective, prompt service. They're notified of changes that happen in the field. We want dispatcher efficiency to be top-notch so that we are sending the right tech to the right job at the right time and making sure that their job is done as fast as possible. Mobile productivity, I talked about the transformational nature of having mobile available to the field tech. We have, with every release since our inception, been really pushing forward and pushing the envelope of mobile capabilities, especially in offline. So I'll talk today about Smart Sync, which is kind of a rolled-up umbrella term of how we handle sync and offline data in the field with our mobile apps, which is heads and shoulders above any of the other mobile capabilities that are out there today, both in field service and in other industries. We've really pushed the edge of the envelope and have put in a lot of IP to make sure that our offline productivity, our offline experience for technicians is the best that can be delivered. And then finally, last but not least, uncovering additional service revenue. And we'll show you a sneak peek at some stuff that we have both in this release as well as in upcoming releases to really deliver additional service revenue, be able to leverage that stream of customers that you have in your install base and be able to capture more product and service revenue as you move along. So that's it at a high level. I'll walk through these 4 areas. And let's start with Field-Ready Mobile and looking at the productivity increases there. So this is kind of a view of what we call Field-Ready Mobile. We have a number of different devices that we deliver our field service capabilities on that technicians can use in the field: iPad, iPhone, Android, both phones and tablets, as well as a Windows-based laptop option that is great if you have Windows-based apps that your technicians are using, say, for diagnostics that you need to plug into. They have a heavier, a need for the deeper applications when they're out at a customer site. you may want to equip your tech with a laptop, and so we support that as well in a fully offline capable fashion. And underlying all of these delivery mechanisms or delivery devices is our Smart Sync technology. So let me go into that a little bit more. Synchronization has been a challenge for anyone who uses an offline or online application, a mobile application. Having the right data available is really critical. And for a field technician who's trying to solve an issue and doesn't always know the details of the problem that he or she is encountering, it's really, really important. So synchronization has been a challenge, and it's something we've been working on for the last 8 years. We use about 75 services, which engineering says, oh, that's not so big. But we've spent a great deal of time really refining this and making it bulletproof and getting the feedback back from real-world users. Our mobile apps are one of the most widely deployed business mobile apps there is out there. So we've gotten great real-world feedback from those folks to be able to continue to refine this with every release. So as I mentioned, user behavior and expectations are sometimes difficult to predict. We don't always know what we need to sync until runtime, and you have to have a purpose-built database to be able to do this really effectively. So what we've done is, a lot of the offline capable applications you see out there, and pretty much everybody in field service that provides an application like we do says, oh yeah, we work offline, but they may only take records that you've accessed before and bring those offline, or they may only have what's in the browser cache and call that offline, where we have really taken a close look at, okay, what is it that the technician is going to need for that day? And let's not overload the device by bringing everything down, but let's just bring down the bits and pieces that they're going to need for that day's work. So I know that Technician 1 has a particular need that maybe Technician 2 doesn't have, and so they need that green column in that blue chart versus Technician 2 needing the orange column in that blue chart, because I know what work orders they have to work on that day, what their schedule looks like, what kinds of things they usually do when they're out in the field. So I'm able to look at the calendar, the schedule, the needs of the customers that those technicians normally work with, and be able to pull down and anticipate what data they're going to need when they're offline, so that they have really a fully capable version of ServiceMax available to them. It's not just data entry. They actually have the data validated when they input the data, and the business rules still fire even when you're offline to say, this is a valid entry or this is not a valid entry. They can look up parts pricing. They can do a lot of calculations offline to be able to roll up and tell the customer, here's what it's going to cost you for me to perform this service. Do you want to add this on? They have all that capability, even if they're nowhere near a cell tower, even if they're in the lead line room of a hospital. So this is really critical, and we have delivered what we feel is the best offline performance for mobile technicians in the field. It's the most advanced technology available for synchronization in an offline fashion in a business app. And we feel really proud of the advances that we've made in our mobile capabilities and in Smart Sync. You're going to have the right data and workflows at the right moments. You're going to be able to handle these complex scenarios with ease. And in turn, that's going to increase your revenue, productivity, and customer satisfaction. So mobile also has a great impact on productivity, as we've mentioned. So having these different device choices out there for your field, those at hand are going to be able to make them a much more efficient and effective delivery of service while they're in the field. So I don't have to drop off my paperwork at the end of the day. I can fill that in right as I'm working in the machine. With a few taps, I can get a price for something. I can handle return. I can debrief a full work order, create a service report, and capture a signature right while I'm on site using these mobile capabilities. So a ton of great productivity that can happen with using ServiceMax. So this is just a list of kind of some of the sync capabilities that we've been building out, that we've been enhancing in every release. Things like advanced conflict resolution, sync badges, successive sync, a lot of depth to the capabilities that we've been able to deliver in sync and really deliver that productivity to your technicians in the field. Sync reports was one thing that is kind of a new capability in this particular release, and it's really to kind of easily monitor the usage of ServiceMax in the field. How often are syncs happening? How long are they taking? Are we having good performance? Where are we slowing down our techs in the field? We want to make sure we have a thumb on the pulse of what's going on so that administrators can really understand how this is working in the field and whether it's effective. So those sync reports are now available. And this is a great new feature of our mobile capabilities for iOS, Pulse push notifications. So one thing we heard from customers was, gee, I'm in there repairing the machine, I don't have the device in my hands, but something changed, and it would be great if it let me know right away, and I didn't have to kind of go to my schedule to see what the changes were. But I've got my hands free, I hear this little ping, and I'm able to just glance over at my device and see a push notification right there on the lock screen that says, hey, the following work order has been changed, or there's been a change in your schedule, or you're going someplace else next, and have that really readily available to the techs. So these push notifications make sure we keep the techs on schedule, make sure we keep them informed in the field to any changes, and they're really slick. So I think Nikki's going to show a little bit of that in the demo shortly. So they're available today for iPad and iPhone. It links directly into our iOS mobile apps. It's using the native iOS push notifications, so the user experience is very consistent across other apps that you're using on iOS. And it's a great starting point for us of our evolving service team collaboration capabilities as well. So we have a lot of things planned for upcoming releases to make sure that collaboration is fostered in your organization, that when changes happen, people know right away, we can reach out, we can ask questions, we can create a community of users with your technicians so that they're helping each other out and collaborating to make sure that they're handling customer issues as fast as possible. So this push notification piece is kind of the first feature of that broader collaboration story that we're going to be telling over the next year or so. All right, another productivity increase feature. On iPad, we've made a number of really cool changes. Color coding in the calendar so that you can quickly determine priority at a glance. You're looking at your schedule, you want to know which are the priority work orders that you have coming up on your schedule. That's easily determined at a glance now. Application lockout, so if you are running a sync and your device starts to go to sleep, it will not do that during the sync. It will wait to do that until the sync is completed so that the sync completes on time, and it automatically puts the device back to sleep so that you don't lose battery life. So that's been a key feature for a lot of our customers. Really excited about that, as well as a number of other things on this slide, things like translation support in our smart docs for multi-select pick lists, get price. So we've got some, I'll talk about this in the contracts area, some custom coverage improvements we've made. So a lot of enhancements to our kind of flagship mobile app, which is ServiceMax Mobile for iPad. Another great feature of iPad that we've added is the offline formula. So I mentioned, it's not just data entry when you're working offline. You actually can get rolled up information and create these formulas to be able to get accurate pricing and roll that up for your customers and be able to present that accurately to customers even when you are offline. So great new feature there. The ability to embed a URL or another app in ServiceMax Mobile for iPad and laptops So this is great for, if you've taken a look at our marketplace, we have a number of different partners that we've worked with on the marketplace. I think we just signed our 50th partner who's officially joined the marketplace. And one of the great things is a lot of their applications are integrated into ServiceMax. You want to be able to punch right out into that application. You can embed these URLs right within the workflow, right within the work order, wherever you need it within ServiceMax. You can punch out to that partner application. You could punch out to a parts catalog that you're hosting on a website somewhere. You can use this in a lot of different ways to bring in additional information or additional workflow and app capabilities right into ServiceMax and have it be in context. So a great new feature as well. On Android, we've made a number of improvements in attachments and sharing and location tracking, advanced conflict resolution and sync, as well as the Smart Docs and Get Price features that I talked about earlier with iOS are also available on Android. We have a great deal of interest in Android, a lot of users, especially in our European contingent of customers. There's a lot of interest and use of Android. It's a lot of great features there to be able to handle field service on any app you choose, whether it's iOS or Android. And then, as I mentioned, our mobile for laptop option, if you have a laptop out there for your technicians. We've made a lot of the features that I've been talking through available on that delivery as well. So lots of great key features like the Get Price and Smart Docs ones, like the formulas that I talked about with iPad, all available on mobile for laptop as well. So I'm going to transition at this point into what we're calling Product IQ. And let me set the stage a little bit. A great study from Tata Consulting conducted earlier this year, and it was asking about how companies are now tracking products through sensors. IoT is the hot topic in a lot of our circles, really has tremendous opportunity to transform how we're delivering service. And with this study, we heard that today, 25% of global companies are already tracking their products via sensors. And if you look at just the industrial manufacturing segment, that increases to 40%. So already today, this is happening, and those numbers are going to significantly increase over the next 2 to 5 years. We're going to see almost all manufacturers really making internet-capable products, embedding sensors in products, and connecting those products that they sell directly to the internet. And it really changes the service landscape. So in a world of connected products, we're not just going to be providing a product anymore, but a lot of organizations are looking at changing their entire business model around providing customers with outcomes instead of just a product. I no longer sell you a printer. I sell you the ability to print and, you know, the uptime of the printer capability, and all the paper and ink and all that kind of stuff is on me, and the usage of the machine, and make sure that it's up and running for you, and you just get copies. You don't have to buy a copier and worry about the maintenance and restock the toner. You just get copies. So delivering that outcome is what a lot of our customers are looking at. And it really needs a service model that can help support that, and service technology that can help support that to make it a reality. So a typical install base view, you sell a product, which is over here on the left, and if you don't know where that product goes, your revenue stream ends there. You've sold the product, yay, we collected the revenue, they paid for it, but I may not know where that product has been installed, whether my customer is still using it, whether my customer has found the value in it, or is it sitting dusty on a shelf somewhere. Knowing what's going on with that product opens up a huge opportunity for revenue growth. So if we have a sensor in that product and we can see how it's being used and how often, we know how to go back then to that customer and say, You know, I noticed you're not using this. Why? What are the challenges that you're having? Do you need a feature that's not in it, and can I sell you something different and swap that out and get you what you really need to be able to be getting the value out of this product? You know, is it getting old and I can upsell it to you? So all this revenue around extended warranties, around maintenance, around upselling them the new latest version with the bells and whistles, around cross-selling, you know, pieces that might be complementary and help them get more use out of this because they're also using it with this. All of that opportunity for revenue growth and additional sales is unavailable to your customers if you don't know who has this product, where it's installed, how it's being used. So ServiceMax is really trying to tackle that problem and help you answer the where is this product, who's using it, how it's getting used, to be able to capture that additional revenue, and also to be able to help you deliver better service to your customers as well. So when data is captured in different systems, okay, you know, our order management system told us we sold this, but it's our install people who know where it got installed, and then you send your tech out and they don't know where to find the machine to even service it. It's really challenging to be able to deliver proactive, flawless service. So we're really focused on making sure our customers understand their install base and what products are out there, and it's critical to be able to maximize that service potential. And it's essential to move to that new business model of connected service, of outcomes-based service. This is a must-have. So what we're doing is we're developing an app called Product IQ. It's part of our smart connected service delivery. That is something that we started talking about earlier this year with our relationship with PTC and the IoT connectivity that we have through them. This becomes the home for that internet-generated data from your products, as well as a place that technicians can go in the field to keep it up to date, to understand where products are in customer sites, know the location, know the history, when it was installed, when it was moved, when it was changed, when it was refurbished. All of that data can be collected here and put right in line with that machine-generated data to give this very rich view to your company about what you've sold and those revenue opportunities that I talked about earlier. So this is a couple of screenshots, and Mickey will show us a few details as well, but I'll share the safe harbor slide because we're showing some futures here and some stuff that has will come in our winter 16 release, which is coming up not in calendar year 16, but actually in December 15 is the plan. But of course, all of this is subject to change, so that's the reason for the safe harbor slide. So our future concept for a connected iPad app that has this data, the machine-generated data, pushed right in to your install base view within Product IQ so that you can see the real-time diagnostic data, you can see configuration, you can see what's gone on with this product in the past. You can recommend complementary products based on what they already have so that you can capture additional revenue, you can make the right recommendations to your customers, and really be able to grow your service business. So that's a little sneak peek of Product IQ. Mickey's going to be showing you some of the stuff that's in the application today with our beta release that happened with Summer 15. And before I turn it over to her, I'll run through one or two things more here on the Summer 15 launch list. One of them being faster scheduling, and the last being maximizing revenue with contracts. So these will be shorter little snippets, and we'll breeze through them, and then we'll get to Mickey. So within our dispatch console, we've made a number of changes for productivity, where we've really made it a whole lot faster for our dispatchers to be able to work with customers, make sure we have clear time zone labeling for dispatchers that are working across multiple time zones, make sure the whole thing loads faster, give them advanced technician search capabilities, So there's a lot of really great capabilities to make this process faster for dispatchers and really have a great productivity improvement. So those things are popular enhancements with our customers. And then last but not least, your contracts. So we've looked at our contracts area and made two pretty significant updates to be able to help customers maximize revenue with some new detailed contract options. We see a lot of organizations that have challenges offering the right kind of contract to their customers because it's hard for them to administer it on the back end. How are we going to track that? Well, how are we going to know that that's happened? So we've put a lot of capabilities in previous releases as well as this release to be able to really get granular detail here. So one of them is custom coverages, so you can have a different kind of coverage and discount with a particular type of part, not just, here's the percentage that you get for parts, but actually that a wearable part is going to be different than a consumable part, and have that level of granularity. We've also made some updates to our counter capabilities, so in cases where you have 5 service visits per year, or you can use 5 different boxes of toner across the contract term. So we've been able to debit against that as customers use the terms of their contracts, and we've made some great updates to the counters to make that even more intuitive and the process work even better. So 2 great updates to contracts to be able to improve the capabilities there. And what it's doing, all of this stuff that I've been talking through the presentation is really delivering huge impact to organizations. Coca-Cola Enterprises is one of our enterprise customers. They've created a $30 million new business stream enabled by ServiceMax in just 3 years. They're capturing tremendous additional revenue by looking around where they're already doing service visits and saying, can I service that too? Can I service that too? It's my competitor's product, but I want to service that too. And they're just capturing tremendous productivity gains from using our mobile apps, as well as new revenue opportunities from really having a flawless end-to-end field service delivery system in their back pocket. And the numbers along the left are the average impact that we see across multiple ServiceMax customers. So across all of our customers that participated in our survey, they're seeing an average of 24% in productivity due to mobility, 22% increase in service revenue, 17% increase in first-time fix rates, 15% increase in customer satisfaction scores, and significant decreases in both field service costs and average time to repair. So great, great results from our customers across the board. And with that, I will turn it over to Nikki to be able to share the demo.
Great. Thank you so much, Susan, for taking us through all of that. Hello, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that everybody can see my screen. Wait for that to happen. Okay, I'm getting the thumbs up. Okay, great. So I'm going to take you through a couple of our new products that we introduced. One of them is generally available, and that is our Pulse product that's on iOS, or ServiceMax for iPad and iPhone. And then also I'm going to take you through a little bit of Product IQ, as Susan has told you a lot about it being a part of our connected services and what's included in that connected services product. So right now what you're looking at is a work order. And probably not a lot of you have been introduced to ServiceMax Mobile for laptops, but this is our laptop application, the Windows application that runs on the Windows OS. And what we have done with Product IQ and all of our new standalone apps, and Product IQ is a standalone app, is that we've integrated it with our current application. So basically, from a work order, what a tech could do in the field is they would be allowed to go ahead understand what work they're doing for the day, and then immediately with this open tree view service flow button, be able to launch straight into Product IQ. That might take a few seconds for it to do. They don't have to log in. They may see a login screen, but that'll flash off the screen very quickly, and Pulse will open. Product IQ will open. Now, as we've explained, this is just a part of our Smart Connected Services, and what this does is this allows for full visibility of the tech into the installed base product records that you keep in ServiceMax. ServiceMax is a full management system for installed products at your customer sites, and what it does is it's kind of like an asset management light that service techs can use in the field to track all of the installed products at a site. And where sites get very large and you have a very large install base with not only your products, but potentially your competitors' products, it allows the techs to focus in very easily on the locations of those installed products and the components of those installed products. So as you'll note here, I have a tree view available to me over here on the left. And what this has done is it is already, because of the integration to our ServiceMax Mobile for laptops, it's given me a filter. So it's already filtered this location based on my work order, which is great. So right from the work order, I'm able to just dive right in and understand that this is the installed product that's having an issue. And in the tree view, I can see all the components that are associated to that installed product. Over here in the middle, this gives me all the information about the installed product. If there's anything that I need to update quickly, I could do that here. I have a quick find functionality that lets me do partial searches on some of the fields if I have a lot of information that I need to look at. And then over here on the right, I have some quick actions that I can take on that installed product. For instance, and this is fully configurable, I can go ahead and choose to scrap, say for instance, this product was no longer working and then I needed to install a loaner type of device. I could go ahead and hit scrap. I can apply that to all of that installed product and all of its components. I could choose to do that at least by saying apply to child mode and hitting no. And now that installed product and all of its components are now scrapped. Now this could go in any way. This could be any sort of action that, that you want your technicians to do quickly, to record what they're doing out in the field. It's also important to point out that they have all the information about the actual account itself. So if they needed to do any updates, they could do that. And then you get visibility not just into the account itself, but the actual location of the equipment. And this is probably pretty important for a lot of service companies, and the fact that they need to comprehend, you know, where the equipment lives, the kind of environment that it's in. If they're going to install products, there has to be locations with power or air conditioning, access to different facilities. And so we actually allow multiple nested types of location availability. So you have, you know, this installed product can be in building 57 and also in room 88. And you can have all the information that's needed about those locations there right in front of the technician. Some other great little features, if you have a very large and complex site that you're working with, say for instance we're at this hospital, if I uncheck this filter that's got me sort of as a technician, sort of focused in on this one work order and this one particular installed product, I can uncheck that, and now it gives me availability for the entire location. I can see all the rooms and buildings. One of the fantastic features here is the availability to take an entire installed product with all of its components and move it with a click and a drag into a different location. And so now it's immediately moving that. If you're familiar with the way some of these types of mobile products work, you would know that these are sort of individual records that would have to be touched in order to do something like this. And we've gotten it down to a point where a technician is just very easily clicking and dragging to make multiple record modifications within the install-based record. And then last but not least, I do want to point out that we are trying to not only create visibility and ease of use for the technicians, but we are also trying to create a good source of new revenue for our customers out in the field. So we added some very standard actions here as part of this new product. And as we've mentioned before, this works completely offline. So I just hit the Add New Installed Product record. And what this allows me to do is select from a list of products that we already sell or may be there on site or that we are installing. But we also allow the technician to create a brand new record. And this can be used for any sort of competitive product that they might find and see, that they want to make sure that is understood and it's there, and they may be qualified to actually service that. So any competitor record can go in here and be saved. It all saves instantly. There's no save button to hit. So that is our new offering. Again, it's a mobile product. It will soon be out for release, full general availability on the iPad. And now I want to switch over. I've got to go over to a different computer to do this for you, but I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to show you ServiceMax Pulse, and this works with our iOS application. I'm going to be sharing my desktop with you here so that you can see what we're looking at. Great. So again, you see down here at the bottom, I'm on a work order, and up here in the left top screen is my iPad. And these Pulse alerts, as Susan had told you before, they alert all of the technicians out in the field to anything that's changed on a work order or an event so that they can quickly address any issues without having to really go back to the calendars and check if anything's been updated. So I'm going to show you a very quick customer down alert. So say I'm back at the office, I've gotten a call from my customer, and they're saying that they're down. So I can go ahead and check this customer down box and save the record. And what you'll see up there at the top left is I'm going to get a notification. And this is all using the native iOS capabilities within the iPad. So you see that right there on the lock screen. That comes up for me, and I'm alerted and to know exactly which work order it is. And much like Product IQ, it's fully integrated to our ServiceMax Mobile for iPad. So while I'm on here on the screen, I can go ahead and swipe that alert, type in my lock code, and that you see right here on the alerts list and the little orange marker next to it that I've got a customer down. Now I don't have to open any new application on my ServiceMax Mobile for iPad application. I tap on the arrow next to the alert, and it will bring me
straight in and basically pass that information over to ServiceMax. I hit view there so that I'm
taken straight into that work order very simply, and I know exactly what the issue is at that customer. So it's really keeping me very proactive with any sort of notifications that are coming from the office. And with that, that is the end of our demonstration, and we can open it up for questions. Thank you for your time and attention, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Mickey and Susan, for your presentation as well. It's a lot of information, I've realized, but all really good. We will take some questions now. So again, to submit your question using that panel at the top of your screen, either using the chat feature. I know sometimes that's just easier to submit there. And we'll start with one of our first questions. And I think, Mickey, you may have answered this, but for Product IQ, the question is this a tablet form factor or laptop or mobile?
So this is it's an application, and right now the beta is in Windows, so it's on the Windows platform. However, when we do release this will be on iOS. So this is it's a mobile application intended for the use by field technicians.
I think that it works, it lends itself to the tablet form factor or a laptop form factor, right, because it has so much capability that's a little harder to do on a phone screen. But I think there will be bits and pieces of that make their way into our iPhone and Android phone applications as well, but in the future. The initial releases are going to be on our mobile for laptops solution as well as our iPad solution.
Great, thank you. And the person who asked verified that we did answer.
Great. Always good to hear.
Yeah. So another question specifically, is Product IQ just for manufacturers?
Yes. So Product IQ is definitely a huge win for manufacturers who want to track where their products are installed around the globe and in their install base. But you don't have to be a manufacturer to, I think, find a lot of value in Product IQ. We envision that dealer networks and pure service companies that may be servicing the equipment of one particular OEM or a list of different OEMs all could get really huge value and be able to capture additional revenue by using Product IQ in the field to understand the installed base of their products that they service, be able to do things like capture when another product is on site that they don't service, is that a revenue opportunity for us, and be able to note all that location information. So I think it's just as valuable for a service organization, a pure service organization that works with the OEMs as well as the manufacturers themselves.
Okay, great. Looks like another question here. When will you have a demo on the connected devices?
Good question. We've had a number of webinars and presentations that we've done with our partners in that area, PTC specifically. We did demos at Dreamforce just a few weeks ago. I'm not sure on our upcoming webinar schedule whether we've got one with PTC or not, but there is a recorded webinar with PTC that is on our website that you could go out and take a look at to see the full connected device solution.
Also on our connected services page on the website, we do have the conceptual demo there and available for everybody to view.
Yes, and I think there's a follow-up question here in the Q&A as well. Is it just with PTC or can we work without them? We work most closely with PTC, but we do have other providers of IoT connectivity that we can work with. Logix is one that I think is on our marketplace as well that comes to mind. So it's not 100% exclusive to PTC, but we've done a lot of the pre-integration with PTC to make that as out-of-the-box solution as possible.
Great. Okay, more questions flowing in here. So there was a question about just their assumption was that our software has standard interfaces to SAP and other ERP packages, and so Susan, if you want to take that.
Sure, yes. Almost all of our deployments have some kind of integration to the ERP system, whether it's SAP or QuickBooks if you're a smaller provider, or Oracle or whatever you're using on the back end. So that's a very common integration, and we offer that as part of our implementations, and almost everybody takes advantage of that, whether you're just connecting into some of the invoicing to pass, once we've completed the work order and want to charge for that service, or whether you're reaching into inventory as well. So there's levels of detail that you can decide what works right for your organization, whether you just want it to link into financials or whether you want to look at inventory as well.
Okay, very good. And just one more question here because we're coming to the close of the hour. There's a question about how customizable is our mobile app to provide additional access to non-ServiceMax data to like field technicians. So maybe you each want to just mention something there.
So, Susan mentioned that there was a feature in summer 15. Our mobile apps work with our products, to be clear. However, we do present a workflow of information to a technician. That's our service flow manager. And what we're allowing in summer 15 is the use of these custom URLs to incorporate any other information that's needed at the touch of a button.
Yeah, and the apps themselves are very configurable as well. So we call it Field-Ready Mobile. You don't have to do any development. You don't have to build this on a mobile development platform. We've pre-built it for you, but that doesn't mean you have to take what we've delivered out of the box as is. There's a lot of configurability. You can change workflow. You can put different steps in the process and make that available to your technicians in a very easily configured drag-and-drop fashion. And you don't have to do mobile development, which saves you a bunch of time and money.
Great. Okay. We took it to the hour there. I know there were one or two questions that we will address offline. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we welcome you to attend any future ServiceMax webinars. And as Susan mentioned, feel free to go look at our webinar archives, which are under recorded webinars on our website, and look forward to having you on a future event. Thank you so much, and have a great day.